Okay. Very excited to talk about this. This is attempt number 3 of recording this. Anyways, I was in Madison this weekend. Madison, Wisconsin. Yes, I used to live there. Got to catch up with some people this weekend. Was very nice to see them. Very nice to catch up with them. We were very distanced about it because, we don't see each other as often, so tried to be a little smarter about it than where we tend to be a little more lax when we see people more around here. So, we still wear masks around here, but, there we were outside, just distance on some lawn chairs, which was nice. Afterwards, a couple of us still hung out. We did some vinyl shopping. Yeah, some record shopping, a little bit of game shopping too, but mostly record shopping. Was a very fun time. Connor, who I lived with, we went up this weekend together. And then Quentin joined us too, and it was very nice to see him. And he was the one who was really getting into vinyl searching too. He was getting so into it, and it was great. It was fantastic. Having a great afternoon with the two gentlemen. I feel bad for Connor because it's not really his forte. He was mostly helping me hunt down Steely Dan, which we sadly never did. But that's alright, because we found a lot of other great stuff. And I'd like to show off the haul that I found this weekend. So what I will say is I grabbed one vinyl yesterday, and today I grabbed 4 video games and 20 vinyls. Whew. Yeah. So, little bit much on the money side, of course. But I don't spend as much as I used to. I've been getting a little better about spending money, so I say as I go and do this. But this was the ultimate filling out my vinyl collection day. So I got so much for this vinyl collection tonight, which is fantastic. I even got a couple modern things, which is super cool. So we're going to go ahead and look at that. We're going to start with the 12 inches, the 12-inch singles. This is a massive stack. We're going to start with the 12-inch singles that we found. We found these at Video Game Exchange, which, let's explain this. Records at a video game store. Yeah. Was not expecting to walk into this video game store and find a decent selection of vinyls in the back, but we did. And they apparently had a lot of good house stuff there. House music. Quentin's big on that. So he did point out a couple of these 12-inch singles, and I snagged them. We have Kool and the Gang Celebration. Not necessarily my favorite Kool and the Gang song. I don't really know their albums too well. I just mostly know a lot of the big hits by them, and I love them. Like Fresh. I can't think of the name of it. Well, I can't believe Fresh is the first one that comes to mind. Ladies' Night. I hate that I can't think of the name of the song. I know there's a video of it on YouTube that has green text for the band logo. I don't know. I think I'm going to do a little bit of editing on this video, so I might insert the title if I can think of it. I hate that I do this to myself and make myself have to put in more editing work, but it makes the video look a little more professional. So, and then also Michael Sembello's Maniac. Interesting fact about him. I feel like I don't really hear anything about his solo career, but I do know that he actually recorded with Stevie Wonder on his Golden Period albums. You can look at the credits of Fulfilling This' First Finale or Songs in the Key of Life, and you see Michael Sembello on there on a few tracks doing guitar. So that's pretty cool. Next up, we're going to move on to the actual LPs, of which there are 19. We're going to start with the big obvious band that I grabbed 3 of them of this band throughout the day. Was not expecting to grab two of these albums in particular. I was not expecting to grab the Doobie Brothers debut album. I know that it didn't sell too well. It's and when you think of the Doobie Brothers, it's not this album. This album is not them in energy or sound really. There's only one drummer. The vocal harmonies are there, but the energy is not. The energy is not. That said, the workings the workings are there for what makes it great, for what makes them great later on. But it's not quite yet. There's still some great tracks on here, but it's also a very repetitive record, I feel like. But I also want to get a full Doobie Brothers collection, so I needed it. We also have Toulouse Street, which this one I really need to re-listen to because I think I would enjoy it a lot more upon re-listen. I've been re-listening to What Were Once Vices recently, and I've been really enjoying that for re-listening. There's been some great tracks on there, and I didn't kind of skipped over that one for the most part, maybe listened to it once or twice. And now lately I've been like, oh yeah, there's some great stuff on this album. So I'm hoping that the same will happen for Toulouse Street, because I just kind of was like, yeah, it's good, but not really my type of stuff when I first listened to it. So I'm really hoping that I find a little more love for it upon listening to the vinyl. And then this one, Cycles, their first album after reuniting. 1987. This is from 1989, but I think it's a very great comeback for sure. The big single is The Doctor, of course, but there's a lot of other great tracks on this album. My favorite is I Can Read Your Mind, written by Pat Simmons. I think that's a very great track. So I think they adjusted really well to the 80s with this record. I think it's a very solid comeback. This is the only one I bought yesterday. Off the Wall by Michael Jackson. Gonna be honest, when I grabbed it, I honestly thought I grabbed Thriller for some reason. And when someone pointed out to me it was Off the Wall, I was like, honestly, I think that's kind of a win because I like this album better. So I'm not upset. I'm not upset about that. So there you go. There was a store we were at, and I was just checking through like the new arrivals of the used stuff, and there was Christopher Cross's Sailing, and I'm like, oh, I never would have thought to look for Christopher Cross's Sailing. Christopher Cross's Sailing. What am I talking about? It's his debut album, self-titled Christopher Cross. What am I talking about? Sailing's the big single off of this album. I mean, along with Ride Like the Wind, of course. But this is a great album. I love this album a lot. I know it's kind of a famous Grammy snub over The Wall by Pink Floyd, but I really like that album a lot. I enjoy it very much, and I never would have thought to look for it, honestly. So it's kind of happy. It was just a lucky coincidence that I found it and was like, I gotta grab it. Very happy about that. I did grab some new prints of some albums, as you'll notice. One of those is this newer print of Fleetwood Mac's Rumors. I feel like there's not much to say about this. The funny thing is that, I kind of got big on this album a little before it got big last year. Like, I was really listening to this a lot, maybe like January 2020, I think. And then, like half a year later, the album blew up again because of that Dreams TikTok with the guy in the cranberry juice skateboarding. So I don't know. I was just like, yeah, I want this for the collection, and I see it, and I might as well get it. So next up, I think I might call this my favorite Earth, Wind & Fire album. Not 100% sure on that, but it is all in all. I've talked about Raise before too, and I really like that one. But all in all, is a really great album too. There's some great stuff like "I'll Write You a Song," "Runnin'," which is probably my favorite track by them, "Serpentine Fire," "Fantasy," of course, "Jupiter." So many great ones. I was listening to that earlier today. I was listening to it. I think it was "The Omen" because we were listening to it in the car, and then we happened to find it. So lucky for me. This is one of the few albums I bought that I haven't previously listened to. Queen, "A Day at the Races." I'm not honestly huge on Queen, but there's a couple of tracks that caught my eye on here. "You Take My Breath Away." That's a fantastic track. That's a fantastic one. "Somebody to Love," of course. Good old-fashioned Lover Boy. That's a great Queen song. And I'm hoping that I'll find some more stuff on this album that I enjoy too. So here's to that. Cheapest buy of the day, undoubtedly. The Saturday Night Fever soundtrack. I don't know what tempted me to do this, but this was at Video Game Exchange too. And it just looked good to me. So I snagged it. I figured, hey, it's a lot of Bee Gees on here. I see Kool in the Gang. I see Casey and the Sunshine Band. Sounds good. Sounds good to me. Finally have a Toto album. I do enjoy a lot of Toto. Kind of a weird pick. Hydra. This was the only one I found today. This is their second album, and I've only listened to it once, but I did like that listen. So I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to re-listen to it again, find some more good stuff. The lead single, 99, that's a very great track. I've always liked that track a lot. So hoping to find more from this album, too, that I can re-listen to and enjoy a lot. Oh, we're getting to the big ones. So I haven't mentioned yet the other big place that I wanted to kind of name drop to say, hey, this is a really good place. Again, Video Game Exchange had some great games, but also some great records in back. The other place is Strictly Discs, that has this fantastic basement, just full of used stuff that you can just search through. It's amazing, and they have a lot of variety up top too. In terms of, there was like stuff like Afro beats and all sorts of world music from different countries. Fantastic variety. All sorts of new arrivals and such. That's Strictly Discs. And these are in Madison, Wisconsin. So, Wisconsin. So yeah, both places I would highly recommend if you're looking for that kind of stuff in Madison. So, I did hit a jackpot today. Stevie Wonder's Talking Book. This was Strictly Discs. And Inner Visions, also Strictly Discs, and these are new copies. Of course, these are new reprints, but that's exciting, and I can even see the Braille on this one, which is so cool. That's so cool. I listened to those two back in high school. Those were some of the first albums I really listened to. And I feel like part of me kind of wishes I waited a bit so I could enjoy them a lot more with more musical knowledge in my head. I feel like I would enjoy them more if I listened to them on first listen now. But that said, they're still great albums, you know? Things like, songs like You and I, Living for the City, Too High. I'm trying to think of another good one off of Talking Book. I know there's another good one that I'm thinking of. I mean, You Are the Sunshine of My Life, but this one doesn't have the trumpets, of course, but that's great. Of course, Superstition. Everyone knows Superstition. Maybe Your Baby. I Believe When I Fall in Love with You, It'll Be Forever. That's a great one. Blame It on the Sun. What do we got here? Higher Ground. Don't You Worry About a Thing. Yeah. I always love the transition from Living for the City to Golden Lady. That's a fantastically done transition. Funny story about Video Game Exchange. This is when I realized, you know, I had this good feeling about this place when I saw the records back there. And so first, Quinn tells me he sees In Square Circle by Stevie Wonder. And I'm like, oh, darn, I already have that one. I feel like I see that one all the time, and it's like I already have it. So that's all right. And then I look a little more, and I pull out this. I pulled out this with the bonus EP. Immaculate. You all know this is my favorite album. Now I own it twice. Well, technically 3 times. I think I bought it through like Google Play Music or something a while back. But I own it physically twice now. Very happy to have this. And then I look a couple more behind it, and there's Fulfilling This' first finale. And I was so happy. I had this feeling. I'm like, I'm gonna find Fulfilling This' first finale this weekend. I felt it. I felt it. And I did. And then I found it later in the day too. So I was so happy. You know, I got I'm missing Music of My Mind, which is the album I know the least out of his golden period, but other than that, I have the golden period. And that's so cool. And I snagged it all in one day. That's amazing. Goldmine right here. Goldmine. I'm really happy about that. Those are easily the best finds of the day. One more Stevie Wonder album, Characters. Little underwhelming, I know, but I still think there's some good stuff to it. My favorite track on it, With Each Beat of My Heart. That's a very great track. I love that one. Kind of has like almost an a cappella type of feel to it, and great track. I haven't listened to this in a while, but the store I bought it at, the person did compliment me, like, oh, that's a great pick. I bought the Time Out by the Dave Brubeck Quartet. So I watched the video on Polyphonic quite a while ago, and I listened to the album and really enjoyed it. So yeah, I figured it's a jazz album. It's a jazz album, and I own it. So that's cool. You know, it's going to be nice to revisit that. I think that's going to be very fun, and that'll be fun background music. I think that's a very fun album. This was the most expensive vinyl. This was the second most expensive thing of the day. Life After Death by the Notorious B.I.G. Yeah. Again, a new print, but holy crap. Yes. 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 I don't know. I don't really have much to say about that, but I'm excited about that, you know? There's so much on there. I kind of do like that one better than his first album, and I kind of didn't really listen to them too much because I can't remember the name of his first album. Call me a fake fan, because I am. But Life After Death, I kind of always was like, yeah, I like that one a little better. So there you go. Charlie by Charlie XCX. Not necessarily my favorite album of hers. That would be How I'm Feeling Now, and probably honestly my least favorite album of hers. But I figured it'd be nice to own a Charlie XCX album, and this was at Strictly Discs again. So I figured I'm gonna jump. Maybe on revisit I'll enjoy it too, because I was shuffling her the other day and found some stuff I enjoyed. So I'm really hoping that I'll enjoy this a bit more on revisit. Last album to talk about, and I was really excited to find this one too. This was an exciting find. Thundercats, It Is What It Is. Yes, I'm so happy. I love that album. That's such an amazing album. That's one of my favorite albums now, honestly. So that's just really cool to have that. I'm so excited about that. I feel it's kind of sad that album came out when it did, right as the pandemic was starting. and it's talking about, you know, stuff like Mac Miller's death and... Sorry, the recording stopped and I got her interrupted. No, I was just saying, it's sad with this album, that, you know, it came out when it did. It's talking about how we just kind of have to say, it is what it is sometimes, when sad stuff happens. And that's the most that we can do. And then it came out right as the pandemic was starting. And that kind of became the motto for the next year. And I guess it's part of why the album resonates with me so much, especially as I re-listen to it more and more, and I kind of get the album more with time. You know, the comedic elements are great, but the serious stuff really hits on a really good level. I guess I should mention the games that I bought this weekend. I bought 2 GameCube games, being Mario Golf Power Tour, there we go. And I also bought Kirby Air Ride. Very excited to try that one. And then I bought an Xbox game. I think I bought the wrong version of this game because it's the version that's not going to run that well, but that's alright. It doesn't matter that much. Crash Twinsanity, because I've heard good things about that Crash game. Post Naughty Dog Crash game, that's pretty alright. So that's good. And then finally I bought Kirby's Dream Course. Kirby's Dream Course for the Super Nintendo. So I think that's a fun little collection that I bought just to add on to my gaming stuff. So yeah, I'm just happy with how this weekend went. Other than doing all this vinyl shopping, went on a walk last night. It was very nice to go by the lake and see that. Got some Five Guys, got some Qdoba. I mean, technically you could do that at other places, but it's a thing to do at Madison. We don't have a Qdoba around here. We don't have a Five Guys around here, so I liked it. I thought that was pretty good food, especially when I work at a burger place, and having other burgers can be very nice sometimes. So I was happy to have something else. Yeah, I was very happy to spend some time with some friends, see them for the first time in a while, and of course have someone who's probably definitely into vinyls a lot more than I am, to kind of, you know, make me feel less awkward about it. You know, like I'm still in that phase where I'm like, oh, I'm not really sure about some of the etiquette things about record shopping, but you know, he knows. Quinn knows pretty well. So yeah, it was a very fun weekend. So yeah, I guess that's all. I will say, I don't say this too often just because I don't want to be in your face about it. Please consider liking the video, leaving a comment on any thoughts that you have. If there's any albums in particular that you've gotten recently, maybe, that you'd like to talk about that are pretty cool. Or if any of these albums sound pretty cool and you're like, yeah, that's a really great album, I think that's a fantastic one. I've listened to that one a lot too. Whatever you have to say. And of course, subscribe. I don't know. I don't care if you do or don't. Not a huge deal to me. You can do whatever you want. I mean, most people don't even make it this far in the video, so whatever. Thank you for watching. I'll see you again soon, I'm sure, with something else. But yeah, thanks for watching. Peace.